Picture this. We're transported back to a blazing hot day in Antigua, and we're about to watch Test cricket history get completely rewritten. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to break down an achievement that literally pushes the boundaries of human endurance and sporting perfection. If you've ever wondered what absolute, unrelenting peak performance looks like over a grueling multi-day span, well, you are definitely in the right place. Let's get into it. Imagine a wide, cinematic sweep across St. John's Stadium. The place is erupting. There's a deafening roar from the crowd as a monumental, unbeaten number flashes up on the board. 400 not out. I mean, it's a number that almost looks like a typo, right? In a game where grinding out a solid 100 is a massive, career-defining milestone for most, reaching 400 in a single innings, that's practically mythical.
To really set the scene for you, it's April 2004. The opponent is a highly disciplined England squad, and we're at the iconic St. John's in Antigua. You can almost feel the sun beating down on the pitch as Lara walks out to the middle. He looks incredibly calm, but there's this fierce determination in his eyes. The English bowlers are totally ready to test him, but as we're about to see, they were basically running into a brick wall of absolute mastery.
Early on, if we zoom in tight on his technique, Lara is showing immense patience and just incredibly precise footwork. When you're trying to construct an innings of this sheer magnitude, the foundation is absolutely everything. From the very first ball, he wasn't just surviving out there, he was totally dictating the terms of engagement. His balance? Flawless.
He responded to that tight English bowling attack with pure, cinematic elegance. We're talking gorgeous, flowing drives through cover and these sharp, precise flicks through mid-wicket. Every single stroke was a complete statement of control. He calmly coasts to his half-century and then brings up his 100 with an absolute flourish, raising his bat to a roaring crowd. But honestly, this was just the warm-up.
So now we enter what I like to call the marathon shift. He crosses 150, then 200, and you can feel the tension in the stadium slowly ratcheting up. The English bowlers are endlessly rotating, trying absolutely every trick in their arsenal. But Lara's concentration and his rock-solid defense, entirely unbroken. No matter who they brought on to bowl, they simply could not find a way past that bat.
And just look at the progression here, because it brilliantly illustrates the sheer physical toll we're talking about. He faced roughly 77 balls for his first 50 runs. But to reach 400, he had to survive a staggering 582 deliveries. Think about that. That is dominating world-class bowlers for nearly 2 full days, with a completely transfixed, anxious crowd watching his every move, hour after grueling hour.
Now, when we hear a massive number, like 400 runs, it is so easy to just assume it was done through brute force, right? Like he was just out there wildly swinging at everything. But that couldn't be further from the truth. This innings was entirely about artistry, timing, and pinpoint placement. In fact, the breakdown tells an absolutely wild story. Out of those 400 total runs, 196 came from boundaries, but a massive 204 runs came just from sprinting between the wickets. This completely proves that this record was built on immense physical endurance and exhausting, constant running, not just casually hitting the ball over the ropes. It's classic test match mastery, knowing exactly when to push for those hard singles and doubles, taxing the body to the absolute limit.
But hey, when he did decide to hit the ropes, it was spectacular. 43 fours and 4 sixes. Still, it was always about placement over power. He had this incredible ability to simply place the ball exactly where the fielders weren't, magically threading the needle 47 separate times.
Let's shift our focus to the escalating drama as he inches closer to the 300 mark. Because at 300, you are entering this totally different atmosphere. It's a magical number where cricketing history starts to loudly whisper your name. Only a tiny handful of players in the entire history of the sport have ever breathed that air.
And he didn't just nervously stumble over the line either. He smashed his way into the 300 club with a majestic boundary. You can just imagine the cinematic crack of the bat echoing through the stands as the ball raced away. What's absolutely mind-blowing is that even after hours and hours at the crease, his strokes miraculously retained all their freshness. He didn't look tired at all. He looked completely, terrifyingly dialed in.
As he moves past 350, cut to a wide shot of the stands, the entire stadium collectively realizes they are witnessing unparalleled greatness. Thousands of fans are literally on the edge of their seats. Every single run is cheered. Every boundary is wildly celebrated. The air in Antigua is just electric at this point.
But then the actual climax is surprisingly understated. To reclaim the world record and officially reach 400 not out, there was no massive glory-hunting heave. It was just a simple, gentle push of the ball, followed by a frantic final sprint down the pitch. And then, pure pandemonium. The stadium absolutely erupts, and you see his teammates exploding in applause from the dressing room balcony. History made.
Because this wasn't just an innings, guys. It was a multi-day masterpiece of patience and skill. He set a benchmark for greatness that we are literally still marveling at today. He didn't just score a bunch of runs on a hot April afternoon, he authored a defining chapter in the entire history of sports.
Just to really put this into perspective for you, this required extreme patience, waiting for exactly the right deliveries over the course of 582 balls. It is the ultimate benchmark of skill and timing, and above all else, it demanded this unyielding, superhuman mental strength to maintain unbroken concentration for nearly 2 whole days. It remains a permanent symbol of cricketing excellence.
The reactions to this feat really capture the awe of the moment perfectly. One memorable remark called it a once-in-a-lifetime innings, pure genius. And pure genius is exactly what it takes. To stand out there, facing down professional, hostile fast bowlers hour after hour, without making a single fatal mistake, unbelievable.
Another observer simply noted, Lara turned batting into poetry. Think back to those elegant drives and those precise flicks we talked about. It wasn't just highly effective, it was aesthetically beautiful to watch. He completely elevated the sport to an art form that week in Antigua.
So here we are. It has stood as the highest individual score in Test cricket ever since 2004. The sheer combination of physical stamina, mental fortitude, and flawless technique required to pull this off is almost superhuman. Which leaves us with one lingering, massive question. Will we ever see the absolute limits of human endurance and batting perfection push this far again? Keep wondering and keep exploring.